Okay, so a little bit more testing of the DJI Action Cam today. Going to take a nice little ride through these woods up ahead. Again, they're different to the ones I was in last time, but they're still quite close to where I live. They are relatively chill, but obviously there's lots of roots, bumps and everything else, and just over the other side there's a really quite steep, rocky, very bumpy descent, which will again really kind of test the stabilisation of the camera. I've also made one small change, so I've got the same settings, however I have just slightly changed the angle on the chest mount here, and I have managed to get the chest mount a little bit tighter. It is like on maximum tightness now, which is still not tight on my little chest, but it is, I would say, a bit more stable. So let's go for a nice little ride and just see how we get on. I actually come around this way almost every day because I just love this little descent. It's not like long, it's quite short, but it's just super fun. So what I tend to do is like a little circuit, so I can come up the hill from my village up to these woods, go through down the other side, and then I kind of cycle back towards the town and then back to the village, kind of the regular way. So here we are, getting into the woods here. And yeah, so kind of similarly to the woods over the other side, I just find this place to be so relaxing because, you know, there's generally not many people about, and it's just a nice place to come for a cycle. You know, nice scenery, you can hear the birds and whatever else. When the weather's nice, that is, because today it is sunny and relatively dry, but it is quite windy. And actually, do you know what? The whole of July 2025 in Czech Republic, and in particular this region as well, has been so wet. Like, if you looked at the weather forecast, it was just rain every day for as far ahead as they can forecast. And then you get to the end of that and it would be continuously rain again for the end of that forecast. And whilst it's not been raining all day every day, it has been raining, like I say, a hell of a lot, either at least a little bit in the day, which makes the trails all wet, or it has been like, you know, big storms and whatever else. I don't know how good the wind suppression on this camera is. I've only got it set to the like standard mode, which is like the least aggressive wind reduction mode, but even in the woods amongst the trees here, it's so windy. As I say, this is just me sort of comparing it to previous years, and temperatures as well. Like, you know, it's currently about 20 something degrees, whereas normally this time of year we would be baking in the sort of low to mid 30s. So, but I'm hoping that in the next couple of weeks, because we are literally end of, oh Christ, yeah, you can see, like, even as it's not raining today, like, you can see how it's still, obviously because it hasn't had the opportunity to dry out in the woods, it's still quite wet and stodgy in places. But yeah, in the next couple of weeks I'm hoping it will dry out, because I have my youngest brother coming over with my dad from and stepmom from England to visit, and we, because he's also into mountain biking and, you know, riding bikes generally, he's also a BMX racer, but he's coming over with his bike and we're going to be riding like almost every day. We're going to various different trails, which I will be recording as well. But yeah, I'm just hoping for some good weather and some dry trails, because, you know, whilst it's perfectly doable to ride the trails when they're slightly damp or whatever else, it'll just be so much more fun if they're dry. But, you know, you can't do anything about the weather. That's the thing. So yeah, not far off from here is the descent. Get up here. See, they've been doing a little bit of work in the woods recently, cut down a few trees. actually going to go up here because that looks a bit wet. I'm kind of trying to avoid the wet muddy patches because although my bike is not at all clean, neither are my clothes, cycling clothes, because I do ride in all weathers. I don't mind getting dirty or whatever, but I just want to avoid having to do a deep clean on the bike because I kind of gave it a real good deep clean quite recently, so I'd rather keep it. So I just need to, you know, wipe it over rather than going full whatever on it. I'll give it a proper good clean before my brother arrives, before we go and have the week of trail riding. Oh god, it's just still so wet. Good thing is the rocky descent tends to dry quite quickly, or just doesn't get that wet, because obviously by nature of it being a steep hill, it obviously drains quite well, but the rocks in that area as well are generally not too slippery, so even if it is a little bit wet, it's still pretty good to go down. Although I must admit, like the first time I went down this descent, or the first couple of times, I was not, I wouldn't say scared exactly, but certainly a little bit apprehensive, because it is, for a beginner, you know, quite steep, quite technical, I would say. I mean, not if you compare it to like proper tech stuff on trails and the kind of stuff that I'm happy to ride now, but you know, this was last year, or yeah, when I first did it. Okay, so we're almost at the descent, so before we go down, I'm just going to engage the clutch on the derailleur, because this being a cheaper system, actually I don't know if it's anything to do with the price of the system, but for whatever thing, my derailleur's clutch is a manual lever, which I think is a good thing, because actually cycling with the clutch on, if you're just on the road or something, can decrease your efficiency in pedaling and stuff, so having the option to manually engage it and disengage it would be cool. And I'm guessing the more expensive ones do have like a remote system on the handlebars, but mine does not have this because I am poor. Not hugely poor, but there we go. Right, a couple of people up ahead, so we'll just be careful. Good then. Okay, here we go. On to the... Oh, lost the front end. Wow. Okay, that's a good start. On down we go. Oh, yeah. Okay, so I've actually just done the descent, but I've just realised that the like tassel thing or whatever from strap from my bag was in front of the camera the whole time. So I'm going to go down and do it again, but I just thought, as I'm walking back up it, I can sort of give you an idea of what I'm coming down. So the bottom section, which I've already walked up, is quite rocky, quite big rocks and stuff like that. This section here, you can see, it's quite rooty. So there's a lot of loose stuff as well, a lot of loose rocks, small stones, bits of branch and twigs and pine needles and stuff like that. So it's a really kind of loose, rocky descent, which like on this bike, especially being a short travel, you know, light trail hardtail, it's obviously quite a lot of fun. But you can actually see, I don't even know how much you can see on the camera, because obviously camera lenses, it's really difficult to get a perspective of how steep something is from a camera, because the way the camera sees things and the view and everything else is not the same as our eyes. So a lot of times on camera things can seem almost flat when in fact they're almost vertical. So I don't even know what this gradient would be here, because this is like the first part and the steepest part of the trail. So like right now it's, I don't even know like I say, if you can see how steep that is, but yeah, take it from me, it is pretty steep, but it is also really quite fun. So I'm gonna get back up to the top and we'll try this again. Oh, okay, so here we are back at the top, ready to drop in round 2. Probably won't bother including the first bit of footage of my first run in this video because it was really quite terrible with the strap from my bag in front of the lens, but I have now secured that out of the way, and I shall also secure this drinks thing out of the way as well. Hang on a minute. Do that. Okay, let's drop in a second time, see if we can do a bit better. Oh, here we go. Clip myself back in, and down we go. This is the steepest section by far. Let's say I don't know what you'd class this as, whether this would class as like a light enduro descent or just a slightly aggressive techie trail descent. I'm not really too sure about the differences these days because everything is getting more aggressive. I mean, XC is getting far more trail-like, trail is getting more aggressive. A lot of trail bikes now seem to be like basically mid-travel enduro bikes, so you know, how one categorises these things I do not know. Oh, okay, that was a lot better. So yeah, hopefully the footage from that was a lot better. Certainly it's a very rough descent, if anything else, so yeah, I'll see the image stabilisation. Just going to go back actually, just to this bit at the beginning, see if I can show you that last bit we just went down from the bottom. So you can kind of see, I don't know how well you can see this with the camera, you know, settings or whatever else. It's not too steep, this bit, but it is quite, and it's just like lots of rocks and lots of kind of bouncing, like dropping down, especially on a short travel bike like this. If I was on like a longer travel full sus, it would probably be almost buttery smooth and barely noticeable, but that's kind of a reason, or it is a reason why I'm going to build the enduro bike, but I'm also going to very much be keeping and riding this bike as well, because sometimes you can have just as much if not more fun riding you know, slightly more sketchy trail on a short travel hardtail compared to like a really aggressive trail on a really, you know, long travel, well sorted enduro bike, because those bikes obviously are designed for a lot more aggressive riding, but it also means that in a lot of cases they can be a bit more boring as well in certain situations. Hence, obviously I want my enduro bike for those more aggressive situations, but if I'm just going to a single track or something even like this, you know, as I say, I feel like if I go down that on an enduro bike, it won't be as fun because it's kind of built for it. That's not even an enduro trail, it's just a fairly aggressive bit of natural downhill. So so this is obviously more fun because it's a bit more, you know, you have to think and pick your lines and just generally, you know, manipulate the bike a bit more going down it. But yeah, it's all good fun. So I'm going to get back up to the road here now, and in actual fact I'm going to disengage the clutch because we don't need that now. Going to get back up to the road here and start cycling back towards the town. So I shall leave this little video here, but hopefully that came out good. And yeah, the next video I do, I'm hoping, will be on one of the actual trails. I've not got anything coming up this week. Today's Thursday, so no, I don't have anything this week, but probably early part of next week, or at least the middle of next week, I will definitely be going over to Narcot, so I shall ride the trail there. maybe head over the border into Poland, ride some of the single track there as well, and yeah, that'll be that. So, yep, gonna end it here. I'll catch you guys all again soon.